someplace I can find a home. And all these roads that stretch before me into the unknown. Now that I look back, I notice feelings I have grown. Moving around, some are not me, ready when you go.
Treasurer, and today our talk with Craig Stephen Phillips is going to be about living in harmony with the way things are. And our musical guest is Brian Wood, and we're happy to have him back. So I'm going to give a board update to let you know what we are working on in the board. So we have this grant that bought the lighting that we have in the parking lot, and it's going to be making other security upgrades. So we spent about $13,000 just like this last few weeks on upgrading the locks throughout the campus. And then one of the other things it's going to pay for is the fence that's going to go around the preschool area. So we were just discussing that at our last board meeting, who were the contractor we're going to get for that. So that should be done. I think it'll be starting soon. And then we are still working on getting the preschool. So right now we are finding out more details about the permitting process, because there's a certain process you have to go through to be in compliance with all the regulations. And preparing to give the go-ahead to the architect to draw up plans, because we have to make some modifications to the building there. And the other project we have going on is the gardens, the Meditation Gardens of Orange County. I'm also on that board. And
thank you.
thank you. Keeps me busy. And we've been really busy lately because starting up something from scratch, you have to have bylaws. And that's been a project. So we've worked on that. We've had the garden board and the Unity of Tustin board and our ministry team all involved in putting in all the things that we think are necessary. And we are making sure that the church's rights are protected, because the church owns the property, and that is not going to change. I know some people have had concerns about that, but the church owns the property, and the way we're structuring is that the church will have control over this board. So after putting in all of our 2 cents worth, which we mostly have done, we are having a meeting with an attorney on Wednesday to make sure it's meeting our needs to protect the church, and also to make sure that we're complying with all the legal regulations and that everything is kosher. So hopefully in the next few weeks we'll have those done, because we can't open our bank account until we get that done. So it's been holding everything up. So hopefully in a few weeks things will get going with the gardens. Thank you. Now we have our congregational song.
Hello. Yes. Okay. Good morning, everybody. It's in every one of us. Hopefully. There it is. There was no intro. Okay. It's in every final verse, I guess. One of us to be wise. Find your heart. Open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's in every one of us, by and by. The music had already... That was actually just the last verse. There was the key change, and so we get the truncated version. So that's good. That's good. We got a taste of it. All right. I think that's good. You want to do one more time? All right. Okay, one more time. One more time. Let's do it. From the top. Intro. Okay, here we go. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's in every one of us to be free. Find yourself, open your eyes and see. We can all have everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us, here and now. It's like you change. Every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's in every one of us, by and by.
Good morning. My name is Jim Perry, and I'm grateful and honored to open the service with you by lighting the Christ candle and reading the daily word. Let me first light the Christ candle, and as I do so, I'm honored to participate in this sacred ritual with us. You know, a ritual is something that we do over and over, and this is a sacred ritual that we do to connect ourselves. And I hope that during the repetition of it, we don't lose that sacredness of it. It's a special thing that, just remember, the Christ consciousness is within us. It's accessible, just like lighting a candle. It can burn, shine brightly. And brightly. There it goes. Thank you. Today's word is joy. And the affirmative statement is, God's joy blesses each day of my life. Our biblical reference is the first book of Thessalonians 5:16. Rejoice always. The reading today. The aroma of my favorite foods brings a happy memory to my mind. Hearing the voice of a dear one warms my heart. Looking upon a newborn's face for the first time evokes a feeling words can't even describe. While some of these giddy excitements may only be a memory, the joy I know today still delights me. Each day, I embrace more completely the joy of knowing I am a living expression of God. God's life lives as me. God's wisdom is within me, my guide to a deepening understanding of myself and the world around me. The love I share with people who are dear to me is God's love, living in each heart and expressing as each of us. What greater joy could there be?
Nuances of sound always bother me. So I wrote these first two songs for you this week, and it's really sort of my process. It's like how, when I find myself resisting the way things are, or like, not living in harmony with things, and feeling really out of sorts and wanting something else, it's like my one way in is to just like go inside in song and kind of like let it all mull around and pour out, and let the simple song that wants to come that's in there and just like address it directly how I'm feeling. So that's kind of what these are. Holding onto this moment, you feel it. Goes until it's gone. So many questions. What happened? If it takes another lifetime to achieve this meaning that you're seeking, know that there's another chance to see. I'm going on into the future. What lies there, it plagues me till I'm done. So many questions. What happens? And all the places that I've longed to be. And the feeling is so freeing when you take the chance to let it go and see the way to go. You always know. if it takes another lifetime to receive the beauty all around me. You know that there is always time to be. Take your time, it turns out fine, you'll see.
Om Mani Padme Hum. Let's close our eyes together for a moment after this beautiful song that we just heard, which was a meditation in itself, wasn't it? Brian sang about letting go. As you come to prayer, not a formal prayer, the prayer of your heart. If you could ask the Tao, if you could ask God to take one thing to let go of today, what would you offer? It's okay if you have 3 things. What would you offer up to the divine this morning? What would you let go of? Let that be your prayer. That you let go of that so that you can be an even emptier vessel for the divine to fill, the light. So that when you breathe in, you breathe that light into your full being without resistance. And because when we let go of anything in this way, there is room to be filled, what would you fill that space with this morning? Now you've let it go. What do you want? Ask God for it this morning. Tell the Tao. What do you want most of all? And on your next in-breath, feel the breath flowing through every inch of your body, bringing that energy of your wish into the core of your being, into your heart, into every cell of your body. The light. You don't have to wait. The prayer of receiving. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Feel that gratitude in your heart.
I'm still here in this place resisting, kicking a wall as I shout and scream. And I'm still here thinking about a memory of somewhere that I'd rather be. But suddenly I find that I'm losing my mind to be free. Somewhere in this space there's a beautiful place that invites me back inside of me. Oh, I'm still here thinking about my problems, digging a moat around my hopes and dreams. I'm still here making up excuses, chasing a boat somewhere down the stream. But then I turn around and I follow the sound as it flows back inside of me. Follow back so deep, back into the inside. It seeps through the cracks, places where I want to hide. The golden light I see shines out of me, part of everything. So I'm back here where I've always been, but something's changed in this feeling. Feels like I stand so many miles tall, and I'm just here, and nothing is wrong at all.
Notice again the words of the song. You're here. Nothing is wrong. In fact, everything is right. Everything could not be more right than it is right now. Notice. Let that carry you into meditation this morning, that all is well. Even if you didn't feel this when you got here this morning, or you had challenges this week that made you feel or think that something is wrong with life or not going the way it should, for now, in this space, feel in harmony with the way it is. Feel it. Just turn the lights down. Thank you. Feel that harmony between you and your chair. Just sitting. The chair's not rejecting you. It's welcoming you to relax. Notice that you can feel where your body is making contact with the chair so that you can relax and be still for a moment. And feel that there's harmony in the body. Even if you haven't been well lately, let there be harmony in the body now. And as the body is still in that harmony, feel the breath for a moment. Bring awareness to the next breath and feel that the breath is in harmony with the body. The body doesn't hold on to the breath, it lets it flow in, lets it go. So easy. As you breathe this breath of harmony this morning, lift your interior gaze slightly. Get a sense as you breathe that you're breathing now through your forehead. And just breathe in and back toward the middle of your head. In fact, let's take a few breaths where we breathe in toward the middle of the head and let the breath rise toward the crown of your head. You might feel this lifting your spirit even higher this morning. What do you feel there at the crown of your head? Feel it for a moment. And get a sense now that your awareness is taking up residence in the middle of your head, just at ease there. And you're looking out through your forehead, through the point between your eyebrows, out into a vast space of harmony. And from that vantage point, you can feel the breath flowing in as harmony, flowing out as harmony. Let yourself rest in this harmony for a few moments. And when you notice, which may happen, that you go away from the breath of harmony, from resting in that, you get caught by the mind. This can happen. This is not a problem. Notice this morning that something in you that is not the mind recognizes that you've gone away from the breath of harmony. And in that moment, you come back. And you rest again, the next breath. Harmony. Resting deeply on the out-breath, more harmony. In harmony with the way things are. Allowing everything to be as it is. As you continue to enjoy the breath of harmony, bring awareness to your listening for a moment. Listen deeply here. Listen to the silence that's here as harmony. We hear the words, be still and know. What do you know this morning in this stillness? What do you know? Who is listening? Listen to these words from the great Taoist sage, Zhuangzi. Flowers do not struggle to bloom. Water does not struggle to flow. Sun does not struggle to shine. Grass does not struggle to grow. Struggle is unnatural. Be like nature. Be in harmony and go with the flow. Listen. In this moment of meditation, look directly. Are you in harmony at this moment? Take a little time, look inside. I'll give you a little clue, don't think about it. Are you in harmony at this moment? Now, if you're in harmony, you know that immediately. Why is that? Look inside and see. For those of you that know you're in harmony now, how do you know it? Without thinking about it. For those of you that may not know or feel that you're in harmony, how do you know that? Are you waiting for something that you feel needs to happen so that you can be in harmony? Is there a burden in your mind that tells you you cannot be in harmony at this moment and simply rest here in this presence? In this moment, in every moment, notice we are either in harmony with the way things are, or there is some form of opposition to this harmony that is going on in the mind. It's really that simple. We are either in the flow, which I have no doubt that many, many of you are in the flow right now. Or we are in the mind telling a story of why we can't be in the flow. Of course, this morning you all have the opportunity to drop that and just rest in the flow. This flow that's happening in each moment is effortless. Notice. Notice that you personally right now are not having to do anything to make that happen, that harmony. It's natural to this moment. It's as natural as your breathing, being in harmony with the body. This harmony with the way things are can also be called God's will. For those of you that may be wondering about what God's will for you is in your life, welcome to it. You're sitting in it this morning. Do you notice? Rest. This will not come for you next week or next month. It's now. God's will is the way that things are appearing right now. Right here. When we are at rest in this, we are in the flow of God's will. We are in harmony with the way things are. Let's listen to these words from Byron Katie. I sometimes call reality God because it rules. In my life, I trust God's will, and I don't have to guess what it is. Whatever happens is God's will. Whether I live or die, whether my husband and children live or die, whether I am rich or poor, sick or well, whether there is war or peace, health or pandemic, sunshine or hurricane or earthquake. That is God's will, and therefore it is my will. I'm in love with reality, and reality includes everything, both sides of everything. My arms are open to it all. I experience reality as something so benevolent, so beautiful, so pure, that there is no word for it. I don't have a problem calling it God. It exists wherever I turn my eyes. When I first realized this, I was amazed. I was ecstatic, and I still am. God, God, God. That was the song singing through me. That's the song I still sing. Is the song God, God, God singing through you right now? This is to be in harmony with the way things are. To see everything that unfolds in this moment as God's will. And nothing can oppose it. Notice this. As Byron Katie said, you can argue with reality all you want. You will never win that argument. Things are the way they are, and they are not the way they are not. Our argument with that is what creates all of the suffering in our life. Can you breathe this truth in? We can hear the teaching that everything is in harmony, that there is only harmony here. Everything is perfect as it is. There's many ways that we can say it, that there is only now. And yet in the next moment, even highly spiritual people can resist reality. As Byron Katie said, for her, this reality we're sitting in now is God, just as it is. Just as it is. We don't have to look for it. Isn't that amazing? Those of you that think you need to find yourself or look for God, no, it's here. It's your very presence. It's the divine light that's giving rise. Ooh, and the lights just came up as I said that. Woo! Divine timing. See how that works? Don't have to do anything. So we hear this truth, and often in Taoist philosophy, and by the way, if anybody was to ask me, can you sum up Taoism for me, or Chan Buddhism, which is Zen, which is what I practice. But really, life, can you sum it up for me very, very simply? It is to be in harmony with the way things are. It sounds so simple. But if we're honest, we can notice that in the very moment of knowing that truth, what arises in us is some form of opposition to the flow. We think we know what's best. Actually, this mind, this ego gets involved. Usually, this is in the form of a thought like, this should not be happening. If I had to sum it up one way, that would be the overriding thought that arises within us. Isn't it true? I'm in harmony when things go my way. But the minute that my friend says something to me that, upsets me, the minute I go to work and I feel that they don't appreciate me, The minute I start thinking about my childhood and what my father did to me, the moment I start to try to figure out my future 5 years from now, good luck. The moment somebody cuts me off on the road, oh, there's my argument. That should not be happening. All is well in my life except for that person that just cut me off on the freeway, right? Your spirituality goes right out the door as your middle finger comes up. I've been there. I've been there. You know, humanness, right? We get to see in those moments that we're not flowing as much as maybe we thought we were. It's a mirror that the Tao puts up in front of us to say, are you flowing? Look at you. If you were at home looking at yourself in the mirror right now, would you like what you see? Right? So we get to learn over and over from the experiences that life gives us. To me, what the Tao does is simply bring us experience after experience to wear us down so that we start flowing with it instead of fighting it. All of you know the stress that's created inside of you when you are in opposition to reality. In other words, when you are, as Byron Katie says, arguing with God. No, God, not this. I can deal with anything, but not this today, right? As she says, we lose that argument every time. We don't get to vote in reality. Have you noticed? The only vote we get is how we're going to flow with it. The only vote you get is whether you will go with it or oppose it. This is called letting go. For those of you who are wondering, what can I do to find this harmony? What can I do, possibly, to live with a greater harmony in my life? There are certain practices that we can do. And usually these practices come to us right in the heat of the moment. Right when we're arguing with reality, we can notice we have a choice. We can let go. Some of you have had that experience, right? And you feel like that. Sometimes it's a burden you've carried for years where you finally just lay it down because it doesn't serve you anymore. You might notice you never won that argument. Have you noticed that? You can argue with God all you want. It doesn't move the needle one bit. Have you noticed? Not one bit. You can strategize and you can oppose that flow all you wish. It will not move the needle one bit. I'll tell you what will move the needle. Letting go. Acceptance. When we do this, we start to move in harmony with what is happening. And all the masters say that in that harmony and flow, there is a great power that will serve you. It will bring you the solutions to your problems that you need without you having to do anything. In Taoism, this is called Wu Wei, effortless action. For Wu Wei, letting go is essential. Acceptance of what is happening right now, working with it so that you can start to flow with it, and then the solutions come, don't they? How many of you have ever had a problem that you've chewed on for a month or a year? 5 years? If you're honest, how long? A lifetime. I like that. And suddenly one day it's like nothing really changed about that. You just got really tired of thinking about it. Isn't it true? Like, you know what, I'm done with that burden. And you go for a day or two, you feel light as a feather. All your friends say, my God, you're radiant. What happened? I don't know. I just let it go. And in a couple of days, you find something else to chew on. Like, now I got this. This is my identity now, right? What they did to me at work. Yeah, that relationship, I'll never forget it. So these things and these challenges are coming to soften us up so that we can let go into the harmony that's happening now. There's a key point in this teaching today, and something that it took me a really long time to figure out. And I'm still practicing this. The sages and the Zen masters and the teachers that bring this teaching, they are focusing on just this moment. This is why I asked all of you, is there harmony inside of you right now? A lot of you, your mind jumped to everything else that's happening in your life right now. Isn't it true? What's waiting for you when you get home? What's waiting at work tomorrow? The relationship that you still have to handle. It's all out there, isn't it? No, the masters are not talking about that stuff. It's not real right now. Your reality, if you look, is you sitting in this chair right now hearing these words, breathing your breath. There is only now. As Eckhart Tolle has said, this moment is always easy to deal with, isn't it? Notice for yourself. Is this moment not easy to deal with? Yes. Do you have any problem right now you're dealing with? No. None. There's no problem in this sanctuary. But if you go into your mind and you start chewing on work tomorrow, or that relationship that's coming that you've got to talk about in 3 days, or the trip you're going to take into a week to go home to your family that you don't want to see, guess what? As the teachers tell us, all this goes away. This is gone. Your life is now and you've lost it. Your Buddha nature, out the window. And what you're doing is you're living in a fantasy. This is what we do if we're honest. You can be sitting here hearing these words thinking about, yeah, but he doesn't know about my problems. If he knew about my problems, he'd know that this Taoist stuff and Byron Katie and all that is not so easy. Actually, it could not be easier. Could it be any easier for you to sit here with me and with everyone today, breathing, just being at rest? In harmony. Being in harmony with this means, this is good. The more that you live that way, the more you'll notice that as you move in the now, every moment unfolds that way. I guarantee you, if you keep looking and noticing this today, keep checking in. What's causing us stress, Byron Katie says, is not what's happening in our life. Because usually what's happening is very benign. This is very benign, don't you think? There's no pressure here. You don't have to write out, there's nothing to do here except just rest. The stress and the unhappiness in our life comes from thinking about the problems in our life. And those are always in the future, are they not? Even if you have something to handle today later, that's called the future. It's not happening now. Here we can all agree, we've all discovered, there is harmony here. Is there not? Yeah. Breathe it in. Enjoy it. Because likely, most of us, by the time we get to our car, isn't it true? You're all laughing because you know what I mean. We've been conditioned since the time we were young not to be in harmony with the way things are because we think we have to handle everything. We've got to control everything. How's that gone for you so far? This control. This is another key element of living in harmony with the way things are. We drop this illusion of control. And we, as Byron Katie says, we let life live us because it does anyway. Life is living you. Are you breathing yourself now? This idea that we're doing it, there's the crux of your suffering. Let that rest. Let it go and then see how your life lives itself. It'll all unfold. It'll continue. Only it'll be much easier on you than if you are handling every little thing and trying to control. The now is always in harmony because what is happening in the now is exactly what needs to be happening. Can you understand? There is nothing that you go through or will encounter that is not God's will. It's exactly the way it's supposed to be. This is the secret to happiness. This is the secret to joy. Letting go. This image of a river flowing gives us such a beautiful metaphor for being in harmony with life. There's a great story from the Taoist tradition, and it has to do with Lao Tzu one day was walking on the bank with some of his students. Sometimes this story, it's Confucius, but that's the Taoist way of making fun of Confucianists. So I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to make the guy that was watching a Taoist. So they're watching a beautiful waterfall, contemplating the flow of the waterfall. And all of a sudden they look up and there's this monk who has wandered onto this high ledge. And all of a sudden he slips and he falls in. Oh, they're aghast. They see him tumble down the waterfall. He falls in and he's going down the river and his body's like a cork moving everywhere, right? They all rush down the river and he washes to the shore. They all get there and they say, "Oh my God, we thought you would be dead, but you're alive." He said, "Yes." And they said, "How did you do it?" He said, "Well, once I fell, I fell. I gave myself to the waterfall, and the waterfall took me into the water, and I just let it take me wherever I want, wherever it wishes. And here I am now on the shore talking to you." This flow of life, this river and waterfall can get pretty treacherous sometimes, can it? It can get pretty intense. If you fight that, you will drown. How many of you have drowned before? Be honest. I don't mean completely. That would be miraculous. You would all be here resurrected, and then we have another story to tell. For those of you that didn't raise your hand, I will raise it for you. Yes. Life can get treacherous like a river that flows so fast. And we can find ourselves fighting it, can't we? This thing about getting into the river, have you ever done this? And the moment you get in, what you start to do is fight to go upstream, and it's exhausting. This story about the monk tells us if we just let go, the river will deliver us to exactly where we need to go with as little effort on our part as possible. There's a great teaching here. Byron Katie has said that the way that you can know that you are not in harmony with the Tao or the flow with life, you will feel stress in your body. Isn't that powerful? Whenever you're moving through life and you start to get a knot in your solar plexus, again, who's had that? Now all the hands came up. Okay, good. Some of you had it on the way here today. Well, we feel that stress in the body, and this is usually where it is, but it can be a headache. It can be many places in the body. Some people walk around in a perpetual state of stress. Maybe you know people like this, right? They're sick all the time. They're depressed. They're unhappy. Of course, because there's no life energy flowing through them. They're not in the flow anymore. They're fighting it tooth and nail. They're even fighting their depression or fighting whatever these demons are in them that they cannot conquer. So, Byron Katie says, when we feel that stress in our body, we can know that it is a signal immediately that we need to listen to our bodies. We are out of harmony with the way things are. That stress is usually, like I said, will manifest in the thought, I don't like this, even though it's right there to deal with. Any of you ever gone out in the morning and you find your tire flat? Yeah? It's a universal experience. I've had it more than once. In the old days, I would come out and just like curse my fate and nothing ever goes right for me. I'm going to be late to this thing I have to get to, and on and on and on with the story. Now when I come out and find the flat tire, I just am in alignment with it. I call AAA. They change the tire, and off I go to wherever I was going to go to. Maybe I'll be late, but for all we know, that delay in time avoided an accident on the freeway. You know, life does work that way if we let it. So when you feel stress, take a breath. Start this practice today. What is that stress trying to tell you and relay to you? Maybe you're in opposition to the flow and the harmony of your life, and you know it, but you refuse to see it. We can do that, right? Yes. We avoid making changes, or actually, many of us have had the experience where the change is literally laid into our lap and we still resist. We still try to deny it. At our own peril, by the way. The more that we let go into this great flow, the more that life will serve us and give us exactly what we need. In each moment, you'll be able to look at whatever is happening and know it's supposed to be happening because it's happening. That sounds so simple. It's like a fifth grader could get that, right? Kindergarten. They're crying and telling you they don't. Well, sweetie, here's how you know this is supposed to happen, that your friend was apparently mean to you, because he was mean to you. Now let's go from here, right? At every moment, everything that happens is exactly what is supposed to be happening. Now we come from a position of harmony. How will I work with this? Maybe there's nothing to do. In Taoism, doing nothing is the highest path. But that doesn't mean you're lazy or just roll over to life. The next thing comes. It's the path of least resistance, and then you see how to use your energy wisely, and you find the flow again. All that we have to do is let go of this opposition that we have to the flow of life. Living in harmony with the way things are. You will know when you are not in harmony because you will be arguing with it. And this argument with God will cause a great stress and unhappiness in your life. It's that simple. The last thing I'll say about this is one of the practices that we can do to come into more harmony is what we've been doing today. Sit still. You cannot hear it unless you listen deeply. Can you listen now? What do you hear? Literally, you hear that harmony here. You feel it in your being. Through being still, we come home to the present moment, to the harmony that is available only now and only now. You will not find this harmony by thinking. I say this every time I'm here. You will not think your way into this harmony. You cannot conceptualize it. You can't find it in a book or a theory or a system. It is who you are. This harmony is now. If we cast our mind back to when we started meditating or you came in to now, there was nothing you had to do to make all that happen right up to this moment. Acknowledge that to yourself. It all happened, didn't it? It's not like 30 minutes ago we had to start worrying about how it was all going to work out in 30 minutes and start getting committees together to plan it. right? No, here we are now. And here we are now. This is harmony. Being in the flow. With one breath, you can come back to it. Because the breath is now. And then when we hear that silence, no words are necessary. We just rest. So as we rest for a few moments, I'll just say that for those of you that really enjoyed the teachings that I read from Katie today, and I'm going to read one more as we end. The spirit groups are starting here soon, and they're going to be practicing and coming to Byron Katie's work, the work. I didn't go into the details of it because Blair and Shara and I will be giving a joint retreat next Saturday for 3 hours. And we'll talk about the mechanics and the technique of this and how you can apply it to your life. These simple questions that can relieve you of the stress of believing every thought that you think. Katie has said, no thought you think is true. It's a pretty provocative statement. You start doing the work, you see that that is true. Our thoughts just create, as I said today, a great stress and burden inside of us. There is a way that we can unburden ourselves if we want to. Meditation is one way. Katie has said that the work is a deep meditation. I agree. It's a method of self-inquiry. Some of you who come on Wednesdays know that we do self-inquiry every Wednesday. It is the highest form of meditation. A simple question can break apart your conceptual self and give you this freedom that you long for. So those will be starting. I think they'll have sign-up sheets here that you can do that. There will be several times and people facilitating those. You'll be able to take part in that and live in harmony with the way things are. Let's close our eyes for those of you that haven't again, and just take a moment. And again, just feel into the harmony that is present here with us right at this moment. There's no mistake here. There's no accident. This presence is simply calling us to let go. It's always now. And listen to these words as we end this part with some words again from Byron Katie. When you wake up to reality, life becomes effortless because there's no fear left in you. Your mind cannot project a future. You don't have to know what to do, you just do it. You realize that you're not the doer, that the creative mind, the wisdom of the universe is what's running the show. God is another name for the nameless, reality. The kind, the loving, the immovable. There's nothing you can do about it. And whenever you argue with it, you hurt yourself. It's not waiting for your invitation or your permission. It's always here. It's perfect. It's yours from the very beginning. Listen.
Thank you. Thank you, God, and thank you, Craig, for this opportunity to bring this harmony into our awareness and remember that it is truly here. I'm grateful to be here at this moment, leading our congregation. We'd like to, at this time, welcome our first-time guests and also our community online. Thank you for joining us. Here at UoT of Tustin, we believe in many paths, one God, and our evolutionary purpose is to transform lives and to inspire people to make a positive difference in our world. We are a community of all walks of life and would like you to know that whatever your background, we are glad that you're here to grow spiritually with us, either in presence or online. The ushers have come forward with a flower and an information card so that we can connect with you and our community. If you're here for the first time and you're comfortable in doing so, we would love for you to raise your hand so that we can recognize you and our ushers can give you a flower and a gift. Thank you so much. Thank you, yes. All right, very cool. Thank you. And for our online friends, please visit our website and drop us an email. We'd love to send you an email blast every Friday that lets you know about the many wonderful activities happening here in our church. And now it's the time for sharing our love offering. As we share our financial gifts of our ministry, the various digital and electronic ways to give are listed in a card on the back of your seat. We encourage everyone to make giving automatic so that the board can plan efficiently with our resources. However you are sharing your gifts, we would invite you to just briefly hold your hand over the offering bag as it comes by and just really make a connection with the spirit of giving that's in your heart. Even if you don't put anything in the basket, just take a moment to connect with that. Our ministry and our meditation gardens at UoT exist because of our continued giving, and we are grateful for your faith and your generosity.
So, as we have the offerings here, let's close your eyes for a moment and get a sense of what Jim just said. You know, this part of the service can be something that we just fly over. No, it's a really important part because what you give is what enables everything to happen here, including me sitting here. The light's on, the sound is on, Jim is here, the cameras are working. This is no small thing. And what we all know is that when you give, it comes back to you tenfold, 100-fold, in ways we can't even imagine. So as Jim said, you give what you can and know that it is blessed and that your life is blessed for this.
With gratitude for our gifts, I invite you to affirm our offering affirmation with me together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give and all that I receive. And now as our ushers come forward, our musical guest, Brian, has another gift to share with us.
Oh, good.
If you find yourself, having a difficulty going with the flow of the way things are, you could either, be really annoyed by that, or you could be kind to yourself and just be gentle, and that's what this song's about. Looking in and looking out, wondering what this life is all about, and falling short sometimes of who I think I'm supposed to be in my mind. Well, how can I be kind? How can I be kind to myself? See a world that looks so strange, making time but can't quite seem to rearrange. But maybe that's okay. There's something more here that's at play. Oh, let me be kind. How can I be kind to myself? See a world, see it shining bright. Get up and take another step towards the light. But sometimes it gets too bright. What to do when I don't quite feel alright? Oh, let me be kind. I can be kind. Oh, let go and be kind to yourself. To myself.
Thanks, Brian. So good. Yeah.
Thank you, Brian, for that beautiful, beautiful song. So grateful. We are a 7-day-a-week ministry. There are always many things happening at our campus of consciousness. Make sure to check your emails every Friday for the weekly e-newsletter and to visit the welcome table outside for more upcoming and ongoing classes and events. I was thinking last week that we might need a bigger welcome table. There's a lot of stuff on there, you know. Please remember, too, that this Saturday between 1 and 4 o'clock, the spiritual ministry team will present an introduction, a retreat, an intensive between 1 and 4 o'clock p.m. on the work of Byron Katie, which is the focus of our spirit groups. And speaking of spirit groups, there are still a few open spots available. Once again, at the welcome table, you can sign up. And also remember, today we have a wonderful conscious movement workshop with Gretchen Hinojosa at 1 o'clock. All are welcome. Okay, and please join us after the service as we connect for food and fellowship around the hospitality table. Our bookstore is open. We have Reiki practitioners that are here to work with you. They have green ribbons. I left mine at home today, I'm sorry. It's in my other car, but I am available as well. And our prayer chaplains have white ribbons. I'm a prayer chaplain as well. They are available to hold your prayers in the utmost confidence at the entrance to our meditation gardens, okay?
Meditation on Wednesdays, everyone. 7:30. We're here meditating.
Yeah, every Wednesday,
Every Wednesday.
with Craig. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you for reminding us, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for joining us today. Let's stand together and say the prayer for protection. Together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Go forth and live the harmony that's in your life.
Yes. Thank you, Jim. As always. Oh, I feel it. Thank you. How are you, Kathy?